Chuck Fresh, the PCGYN, and here's Computer Care Clinic's tip of the year. You've probably seen this little Windows icon in your tray if you're running Windows 7 or forward. And what Microsoft has decided to do is install a little update, which is supposed to be a security patch or a stability update. And actually, it's a piece of advertising telling you all about Windows 10, which is coming out soon. So, and it's masquerading as a Windows update. It's kind of an underhanded way to market Windows 10. But anyway, you've probably heard Windows 10 is on the horizon. The drop date is July 29th, 2015. And it's just about a month from now. It's depending on when you're watching this, it may be out already. And actually, if you look at Process Manager, I looked at this thing online here. You can see the website on howtogeek.com. It tells you it's actually using about 60 megabytes of your memory running this silly little advertisement in your tray. And there's ways to get rid of it and to deactivate it and block it from running. You actually uninstall the update, but it'll keep popping it back. But there is a way to block it so that it cannot come back up and bother you with its incessant advertising again. So what should you do? Everybody's asking me, should I upgrade to Windows 10? Oh my God, I'm so excited. It's the latest and greatest thing. I can do unexpected things. It's going to make my life better. Should I do it? Should I just upgrade the day it comes out? And my answer is always no. Hell no. Wait, man. You've got a year. It's going to be free for all users of Windows 7, 8, and 8.1 for a full year. That's July 29th, 2015 to July 28th, whatever, 2016. So my impression is you just kind of watch and just let other people download it and deal with this thing for at least a month, because there's going to be bugs. Now, I'm running the evaluation version, which we're going to take a look at in a couple seconds. And I found some things I like, some things I didn't like, and I'll share those with you. But by all means, hang out, man. Don't download it on day one, no matter how excited or how nouveau you think you are, because you're probably just asking for trouble. All right, so this is Windows 10 here. This is the desktop, and what they've done, essentially, what I'm telling people, it's kind of a hybrid of Windows 7 and Windows 8. So they've given you that Start button, but now they've put in these goofy live tiles on your Start button. So you're coming back to the traditional desktop, but you have these little, well, not little anymore, these humongous icons you can make bigger. It's kind of the same stuff as Windows 8. So kind of a mishmash of Windows 7 and Windows 8. Now, what I've tried to do in previous versions is actually drag these icons. And this is Project Spartan over here, which everybody's all excited about. It's the new Internet Explorer, blah, blah, blah. And I'll show you what happened there. And you used to be able to drag these things and put them on your desktop. And apparently that functionality has gone away. Is it going to come back in the final release? I'm not sure. We'll have to see if that comes back. But if you've come up with Windows over the past 10 years, you probably have a crap load of things on your desktop. And me and you and millions of other people probably like it that way, because that's kind of how you're organized. You have everything you need right on the desktop. You know exactly where it is. It's third one down, second one to the left, and you know how to get there. And I'm even sure what this Microsoft Edge is, but this is the Microsoft Spartan browser. We're going to kind of poke around here a little bit, but I like to have all my stuff right there on the desktop. I don't have too much there. I have maybe 20 icons, but they're right there exactly where I know where they are. Right now in Windows 10 and Windows 8, I still don't know where the hell anything is, and I've been using it for a couple of years now. So this is Project Spartan. It tends to render websites fairly well. It has HTML5 video capabilities, so it'll play your YouTube videos. I'm not sure about Netflix. Haven't tried that yet. That's Silverlight. And that's probably embedded in Spartan too, but we'll find out. Again, this is a preview version. It's not the official final version. So it did play videos pretty well. I am running this in a virtual machine because once you install Windows 10, you can't go back. Now, let me repeat that. Oh, hang on a sec. Okay, once you've installed Windows 10, you probably can't go back unless, again, they change something between now and the final release. But you're pretty much stuck. And what it may do, from what I'm reading, is it may actually delete your restore files too, which will eliminate the ability for you to automatically go back without a system disk. Meaning you can't reload or refresh or restore your machine back to your old operating system if you determine that Windows 10 is not compatible, doesn't work for you, or you just plain don't like it. You won't be able to go back to 7 or 8. So you're going to have to find somebody, a computer technician, or you'll have to go online and buy yourself some operating system disks to get yourself back to where you were if you happen not to like this, or it doesn't work with your printer, scanner, or certain pieces of software, which there are going to be compatibility issues. Now, With that said, here's Spartan. I'm kind of poking around here. It's different. It's got menus in a different place. They're trying to be nouveau. They probably borrowed a bunch of stuff from Chrome and Firefox, which is smart because Internet Explorer is dated. It's kind of weird now. It doesn't work with some websites, and it's 5 minutes ago. So, was I crazy about it? No, actually, I could not manage to get this version of Spartan to download. I couldn't get it to download Adobe Acrobat or I think Malwarebytes. Fortunately, they will still include Internet Explorer in Windows 10. There's going to be a version for backwards compatibility. And again, I can't drag crap onto my desktop, and this is really making me upset because I really want these things on a desktop. However, I'll show you how to get there in a second. There were some clever little shortcuts that some people came up with that are, man, it's almost like machine code to get stuff on your desktop, but they did work. And there is, again, a way to get things onto your desktop. So Spartan, I don't know. And we'll talk about this Cortana in a future video. What it is kind of like Siri for Windows, so to speak. Although they can't call it that or never will call it that. But that's essentially what that is. So I tried to... Am I in Spartan now? I think I am in Spartan, or is this Internet Explorer? I think this was Spartan here. And it downloaded, but I don't remember if it could install or not. But I had some problems with Spartan. I'm sure they're going to work that out within the first couple of weeks or even before they release the official version of Windows 10 on July 29th. So, but I did try to download some things, and I was having some problems here. The favorites bar, they're going to give you a favorites bar. You'll be able to store favorites right there, and you'll be able to save things to a favorites folder or to your favorites bar. And that's pretty helpful, similar to what Google Chrome, Firefox, and Internet Explorer allow you to do right now. So, I was able to install Malwarebytes. And that was important, too. So it did work with version 2.18 and forward in Windows 10. So it is important to have that second level of protection. We do recommend Malwarebytes as a real good, even more important than the antivirus programs. Because most of the problems aren't viruses. Have you seen in some of our other videos? The problems malware, grayware, all that other kind of silliness. Website hijacks and phishing and all that weirdness now. People on Macs are getting this stuff now too because they're socially engineered malware, so to speak. So Malwarebytes does run on 10, so that's great. The jury is still out whether your old printers will run. I know there were some printers that did not work with Windows 8, if you had some older printers, you just had to throw them away, essentially, throw them in the landfill, and I thought that was terrible. There's some workarounds. Sometimes you can install older drivers and make those work, too. Will that be available for Windows 10? It's hard to say at this point. We'll need to see that. So, again, I'm running this in a virtual machine because I can't afford to damage my main machine right now. So I said damage, or I should say change my main machine right now. So, but I've been poking around Windows 10. It's not a bad operating system, but Windows 8 wasn't bad either. You have to be the type of person who embraces change, who's willing to learn a new thing and adjust the way that you complete your workflow. And you'll be able to get things done. You'll learn it. You'll get used to it. And it's not awful, but it is quite different. If you're going from Windows 7 and you're going to make the jump to 10 or 8 or 8.1, it's going to be a big change in what you do and how you do things. Now, I was totally unable to download Acrobat Reader in Windows 10 here, so later on in the video, you'll see I was able to download it with Internet Explorer, which is Internet Explorer 11, which is also built into Windows 10, as we've discussed before. So that is there, and you'll be able to download and access a lot of websites, which may not be Spartan or Trojan or whatever this thing's called friendly. So they had to include it for backwards compatibility, and Microsoft has always done a great job, even more so than any Linux, than any Apple, at backwards compatibility. They've been very, very accommodating for older software, older hardware, where Mac, for instance, Apple says, hey, man, if you got an old piece of software, we don't care. Upgrade. You have to upgrade because we're the coolest thing on the planet. But Microsoft didn't do that. But maybe you'll start to see a little bit of that happen now. If you're really grossly old hardware from maybe 15 years ago, you may not be able to run it on 8, 8.1, or 10. But essentially, also I couldn't get Chrome installed through this Spartan thing either. I don't know if it was a Spartan block, but again, in all fairness, this is a preview version, so you kind of locked up or blew up on me. I'm not really sure what happened. It just essentially did nothing. It's like, hey, man, you can't do this here. Get out of here. So I did manage to go back to Internet Explorer somehow, which I'm not really sure where that is here. And it made it look like I was able to get there, but I wasn't able to get there. What I did want to mention is that now a lot of our customers are older people. I'm older, I'm talking 55, 60 years old. So they've been with computers for the last maybe 15 years. And they got used to, a lot of people learned how to use a mouse through Solitaire, being able to move the mouse around the screen. Essentially, that's what that was for. And people were pissed. Oh my God, when Windows 8 came out and there was no Solitaire built in, people were like livid, man. People would come in my store turning bright red saying, where's Solitaire, man? And I'm like, look, it's not included in the native operating system. However, you can download it, and it's a pretty nice upgrade. But they didn't want to hear that. They're like, it should be there. But you'll be happy to know that Solitaire is built into Windows 10. Happy as a clam. You'll be able to play that little card game until your fingers fall off. So that'll be amazing. So, and I was able to open the menu here and open this page here that said open with Internet Explorer. And then I was able to download Adobe Reader, which is not completely necessary. There's a lot of alternative applications now. And I just have learned to prefer Chrome. I've synchronized everything in Chrome, and I've kind of gone that way to the dark side. And it works for me. It works for a lot of other people too. So you'll be able to use Chrome, Firefox, all those other things. You won't be able to download them in Spartan, unless, of course, they change that between now and the release date. But right now, they do include Internet Explorer 11, which will probably be the last Internet Explorer. But who knows? There might be enough corporate pressure to push them into 12. We'll see what happens there. And again, through Internet Explorer, I was able to download and install Chrome and Adobe Acrobat. Flash and Java may not be needed with the advent and rollout of HTML5. Most of the video content has now been ported over to HTML5, which is great. And the Java and Flash were a conduit for a lot of malware. So me, for one, I'm glad to see that they're disappearing and becoming obsolete. So that's kind of cool. Here's your start menu here. It's alphabetical. Everything's really, it's big. And there's probably a way to adjust this, and I hadn't got there yet. And there's a way to pin things to the start menu, but the start menu is this big, fat, oversized jumble of crap over here to the right. And, of course, you try to drag it to your desktop. It's going to say, can't do that, bro. But, again, there are ways to move things to your desktop, and we'll get there and show you a couple of them. I'm not sure about the embedded Windows applications, although actually I was able to move a few of those to my desktop. And it was interesting, too. The control panel and everything looks way, way different. Kind of hard to get to here. Where in Windows 8, a lot of the stuff was essentially the same as Windows 7. But you just had to figure out a way to get to it. Windows 8 was a little bit easier to find those things. It was all kind of over to the charms bar on the right, which is gone in Windows 10. So you've got this goofy start menu. But I'm thankful you have a start menu. And a lot of people will be thankful that there is a start menu. It'll be a lot more familiar to them. And you've got the little search bar on the bottom. I'm still mucking around here with Solitaire trying to get it. What did I do? Oh, we kind of moved it and hung out there. So anyway, Solitaire's here. People will be very happy about that. You've got a nice little selection of programs and icons built into Windows 10, so that's cool. And there's no options here. I can't put it on my desktop. Now, in the older version, I was able to just copy that over, but whatever. And then they have this Xbox thing. Now they're trying to integrate Xbox, the gaming system by Microsoft, into Windows 10. Is that a cool thing? I guess so if you're a gamer. Although the consoles were the big deal, and people seem to be going away from consoles back to PC gaming. It's kind of a strange circle. It started with PCs, went to consoles. Now it seems to be coming back. So I guess Microsoft and everybody else see that writing's on the wall, and whatever, they're kind of going back and trying to integrate things. As a matter of fact, I saw a Samsung TV that's going to have some kind of Xbox content ported into the TV itself, which is even more bizarre. So there I've got a couple of applications that I installed. The Google Chrome and the Malwarebytes did install icons on my desktop. So if you're an icon on the desktop person, you'll be very happy to know that. Now, here too, if you right-click on the icons, You can't put them on your desktop. And then you open the file location, and then you're going to see some stuff that looks a little more familiar. Now that I see the official icon, I can actually send to desktop, create shortcut. Bam, there's all my stuff. And this is how you're going to be able to do it in Windows 10. This is going to be able to how do you clutter up. I'm sure the Microsoft program's like, oh, God, man, we've been trying to get away from this for years, and look what this guy's doing. He's putting all this crap back on his desktop. Well, you know what? That's what me and millions of other people are going to want to do. So deal with it. So this is how you can send all your stuff to the desktop. Somehow you have to fiddle around, get into My Computer, which is not called My Computer anymore. It's called File Explorer. And I guess there's a My Computer in here, but it's called this PC, whatever. But if you can get into this file system somehow, finagle your way around it, which is called File Explorer, you'll be able to create all the shortcuts you want, even to the native Windows 10 applications. Even to this goofy control panel here, whatever this thing is called. Super control panel, or I'm not sure what it is, but the settings feature essentially is the new version of the control panel. However, the control panel is still there. It's just kind of difficult to find. And it's the immersive control panel. Yes, if you really want to get immersed in your control panel, you're going to have to find the old control panel. Actually, I forget where I found it because I went in and typed it in here, tried to find control panel. And, well, there it is up top. I didn't notice it was a different color up top here. And it's trying to point me to settings, man. Hey, man, don't use control panel. Let's use settings. Settings is the cool way to do this. And I clicked on control panel and it brought me in the middle. Like, what is, I don't even know what this is. It's like, hey, you want to open control panel with Project Spartan, man? And I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. I'm just going to get out of here. And then Spartan opened anyway. I don't know if I clicked that by accident or just trying to over Spartan me. I almost want to call it Trojan, but I know that would be a bad thing. Anyway, your settings are here, similar to Windows 8, but that's another one of my gripes here is these monochrome icons that Apple developed. They're like, hey, we don't want these shadows and colors. We just want monochrome, no shadow icons, man, because it's simple. But a lot of people like the old colored ones. It was a little easier to identify. Now I've got all these line art things, and it's a little harder to see, to be quite honest with you. So here's all the integrated Windows 10 stuff where they're trying to replace that control panel. Of course, there's the immersive control panel, which we'll get to in a second, which is much more immersive than the settings. And, well, it's going to be a matter of preference, whatever you want to do there. So I was trying to figure out how to get to my files. And the only way to get there is there's no my documents and stuff there. There's probably a way to create those shortcuts. I haven't got there yet. And there they are. And you can actually right-click on these and send these to your... Actually, I pinned them in my start menu. And you can send them to your desktop. So that's a nice little way to do this. I tried to pin it to the start menu, and I couldn't find it. And I'm like, all right, let's go back to the start menu. I put my documents there. Where the hell are they? Because I can't find them anywhere. And they're here somewhere. Hello? Documents. Documents. Where'd you go? Anyway, they're not here. So, again, maybe a bug that'll be resolved by the time Windows 10 officially comes out on July 29th, hopefully. But, again, another reason you just might want to hang out at least a month. Let them work out the kinks, man. There'll be a ton of updates. And, again, it's going to be free for a full year. So what's the rush, man? If it works, if it ain't broken, don't fix it. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to wait. I mean, I have this preview version, and this is probably as far into 10 as I want to go at this point. And I'm going to just kill this thing after this video is over because it's driving me nuts. But I'll probably end up with Windows 10, but I'm going to hang out a little bit. I'm going to see what you guinea pigs find for me. Make sure some of my audio and video applications are all working in there too. So I thank you all in advance for that. I tried to install a printer, but again, this is a virtual machine, so the conduit between the virtual machine and my network's a little flaky. And Microsoft includes some kind of printed PDF. I guess they gave up. Oh, no, the XPS writer is still there. That's great, the one that almost no one uses. So, what's interesting, too, is I went to updates, and they said, hey, man, there's no updates available. So I clicked on check for updates, and there was a whole bunch of them, so it lied to me. But that's cool because everyone lies to me. I just get used to that after a while. Anyway, so I tried to install my printer here again, virtual, so it's not fair. But hey, man, here's something I'm familiar with, which has been pretty much the same since Windows Vista, and this is cool because we like familiarity. Again, if it ain't broken, don't fix it. It looks good. So I was poking around here trying to find my printer, which actually did install in a virtual Windows 7 machine fairly quickly. But here, not so much. So I hung out a little bit, tried to wait for it, and got tired and like, forget it. So it downloads all these icons from the internet automatically, where before you had to tell it, okay, we'll go get this information from the internet. Now it does. It realizes, hey, that's pretty safe. It's just a picture, bro. So I can go ahead and do that. And there's my good old control panel. Look at this. We're back to home here. Back to familiarity. Oh, wait a minute. Where am I here? And of course, that's called now the immersive control panel. So just write that down somewhere in case you want to know what that is. And I was trying to get back to the control panel, I think, here. I don't remember what I was trying to do here. I had a couple beers before I made this video, so just work with me here. Because you really need a couple of beers before you get into Windows 10 or any new operating system. You should see how many beers I had before I went to the Mac. That was ridiculous. My wife can attest to that. She wasn't happy about that. And we ended up selling the Mac. How many Macs have we sold? 5 Macs so far. Yeah, we just can't do it. So here's your system configuration, which is still around, which is very cool to have that there. And you can disable a whole bunch of services. And just like in Windows 8, to disable startup applications is going to be buried in your task manager now with its own startup tab. This is the same CPU usage, which is pretty handy. Shows you how much memory you're using, how many processors, and if something you want to turn off, just disable it. Same way it works in Windows 8. And you can go through a whole bunch of stuff here, see what's running, do some troubleshooting. And same exact panel as Windows 8. I don't see any reason to change it. I'm sure that they won't. And a whole bunch of system tools here, which you'll find, which is really nice. And you can get to this by hitting Control-Alt-Delete, opening Task Manager, right-clicking on your taskbar, or a number of other ways, which is very cool. Windows gives you 20 different ways to get into something, which is very, very handy, and a ton of shortcuts, too. And most of those appear to still work in Windows 10, so I'm very thankful for that. So here's what we got. My virtual machine's only running 2 gigabytes of RAM because I'm greedy. And i7 on here. Again, we're choking because it's a virtual machine, so pardon that. It installed most of my hardware, although that one device is just base system device. I'm not really sure what that is. I'll have to look that up later. But essentially very, very similar, and again, a hybrid between Windows 7 and Windows 8. A lot of the settings are the same. So once you start to dig under the hood a little bit, you'll become quite familiar. If you've been running Windows 8, you'll say, hey, well, this is pretty cool. And other people will be like, well, why did you need to change anything? Because I just got used to Windows 8. Why are you going to mess this up? Where's my start page screen, whatever? And unfortunately, it's gone. So again, it's bundled with Windows Defender, which is your built-in antivirus solution. Do you need anything else? Honestly, from what we've seen here in the past couple of years, probably not. Defender works just as well, if not better, than some of the paid antivirus programs out there. Again, more importantly is your anti-malware protection, and Malwarebytes is still the king of that domain. And will they be in a year from now? Who knows? And these things change overnight, so keep your eyes out for that. We'll be doing videos and reviews. If some new competitor comes out that blows the doors off of Malwarebytes with Windows 10, we will let you know. Perhaps Microsoft will come out with their own malware protection, which would be really cool. Since they know how this thing works under the hood, you would think that they would, but haven't done that yet. So, hey, look at that. I got a whole bunch of updates. So, and then it starts downloading them automatically, and there's advanced options, too, so you can turn off your Windows updates or change them or do them manually, whatever you want to do, so it doesn't interrupt you when you're in the middle of developing that crucial business presentation in PowerPoint and your computer suddenly decides to update with no warning. So that's what happens. So that's the quick and dirty preview of Windows 10. We'll go a little bit more under the hood when the final version comes out. in a few weeks. So please like our videos and subscribe to our channel and keep an eye on what's out there. Our website's computercareclinic.com. We have Twitter and Facebook feeds too. My name is Chuck Fresh, the PCGYN. This is Computer Care Clinic's Tip of the Day.